this morning. After all these years, you still hold hands? Wow. Yeah, it did look good. I hope it was more than just a show, though, Pat, but, however that works. Well, let's start with how you came to know Jesus. Pat, I'd like you to go first. Make sure you get that microphone up nice and high, because everybody wants to hear every word that you say.
I'm quiet.
That's right.
When I was born, we lived in the east end of Galion, and the lady next to us was a Free Methodist. And so we started going to the Free Methodist Church then, and we've gone all our life, except I think for a couple of years. And I can remember going to the church camp that this lady had a tent. We slept in tents in the city, so how old I am. And tent, and we had our services were a tent. And I can remember as I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th grader, we had a youth, gathering, and they had an altar call, and I can remember everybody went to the altar with me, because I knew what it was all about, and I wasn't ready to make that commitment. And so the church has been my family. I mean, I'm the only child, wonderful mother and dad, but the church has been my church family,
Okay. So you grew into your teen years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had one pastor say one thing one time that sort of spurred on that decision, right?
We had an older pastor, Brother Sayers, and he walked with from the old school, and we had revival. And my heart was hungry, and I'd go to the revival, but I'd never make a commitment. I'd leave and go to youth group, and I said, if I leave the youth group on Sunday night, I could hear everybody singing the carol, or the song, hymn. And my heart was drawn, but I'd go out on a date or do something else. And so I was at a revival this one night, and as I was leaving, Brother Sayer, who didn't mince words, come up and he said, Pat, I fear for you. And I kind of chuckled after he said that, but it sticks with you. And then Virginia Foraker, who was a dear saint, said, Pat, I'm praying for you. And I think maybe that was the Sunday that my mother and I went to the altar. I'm not certain.
Wow. Exciting. So someone saying one word makes all the difference sometimes, doesn't it? Gord, how about you? How did you come to know the Lord?
Well, I was in a little Leesville, a little town north of here, and I've been in church all my life. Not because I wanted to. I got mom and dad said, you're going to church with my brother and my sister, so we always went. I never got anything out of it, but we always went. And I love sports, and that was more important than church was, really. So I went through school, got out of school, went into the service, and looking back to the service, Pat and I been out some and Britain, and we got out, and I started going to her to church, and again, Reverend Sayer, who was a little outspoken, a nice man, but the first night I went out to get my coat, little coat room, and Brother Sayer met me there and asked me if I was saved. I guess that was a good thing to do, because from then on, it really made me start thinking. And so, shortly after that, we were regulars in the church, and after we had our first baby, Brad was our first boy. We had 4 kids in 5 years, and
So, you're there in the hospital.
Right? Yeah, we're in the hospital, and I bring this little guy out, and my heart just melted, and I could just kind of feel the tears coming down my cheeks, and I just knew that this little guy was from the Lord, and that I needed to do more than what I'd been doing. And the Lord really spoke to me and said that, here's your little guy, I give him to you, and you need to take care of him. And I give my life to the Lord right then.
Wow. So it was that whole business of understanding that level of responsibility God had given you that finally clicked and made that decision for you. So apparently, building a family that was centered around the Lord was an important thing for both of you. You've been at this parenting business for a little while, so how did it go? That well, huh? Okay.
I can remember when the kids were in elementary school, we had devotions at the breakfast table. I had a little booklet I read to them every morning. We had a girl that come and got on the bus at our house because her mother was one. She was a part of that too. And I was thinking the other night that I can remember even when the boys were in high school, the kids were always in church. I remember one time my mom said, "Oh, come on, there was a special movie that they could watch. Come on." He said, "No, I want to be in church. It was Sunday night or something." And he said, "No." And I can remember the boys in high school, we would drive over to Colonel Crawford, pick them up on Wednesday nights, right after they had varsity ball practice, and they would come to church. And I can remember Mr. Chuck one saying, the coaches says, "Well, pray for us while you're there, will you?" And so it was, for me, I was an only child, so it was a real treat for me.
Great. And you said, Pat, one of the things you did was you decided to pick somebody out who was a little further down the line than you were in parenting and sort of use that person as a model and a mentor.
I really didn't pick her out, but I think the Lord did. Almost all of you know Millie Hall. And Millie was my Sunday school teacher. She was my youth leader. And at one time we were both pregnant together, and I can remember both of us going home. And that's when you used to hand pamphlets out door to door. And so she has just been my mentor and my best friend really through the years. The Lord has blessed me.
The people who know you well know that your best gift is the gift of encouragement. That you both have this tremendous knack for encouraging people. So, how did that come about, Lord?
I guess really the Lord just blessed us that way, but narrow it down a little bit. Ray and Kate Altman, Ray was the pastor here. They was really grand. They were going to be going on, and we practiced for that. And we learned how to approach people and what to say to them, try to lead them to the Lord. We were over at Ray and Kate's yesterday. Ray is in bad shape. You might remember him in prayer. Their daughter who lives with them is cancer and is very bad shape. And Kate just found out, she got a call from her grandson who's been in a lot of trouble. That he called and wanted to know if he couldn't live with him because he didn't have any place to go. So Monday, she's going to get a order. But anyway, I forgot what Ray. Ray. I'm talking about Ray. In Sunday school class, we were back there. Ray had these classes, and it really helped me because I was not very at ease, because I'm not that great at speaking out in front of people. But Ray taught us, we had classes night after night, and taught us how to go up and talk to people and, try to lead them to the Lord. And he would actually get us up front and let us do this little free thing, And so I think the Lord really worked it up. He finally knew that I was willing to do this. So I've been able to, I went to that and helped with it. And I've been able to go to a rest home, because I first went to a rest home, and the worst thing I had to do was get by the smell. I would hold my nose and get down to the room I was going to. But gradually, the Lord really helped me. And I've been able to go into rest homes, hospitals, and witness to people.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, that's been a blessing in so many people's lives. Your ability, both of you, to write notes, to speak words of encouragement, and God uses you in incredible and great ways. Will you help me pray and bless Gord and Pat and their lives? Father, thanks for